Monday, everyone, and welcome to Dr. Dawn's Shop Talk, your place for online career and life coaching, corporate training for businesses, and professional development for school districts. I'm Dr. Dawn, CEO and founder of Dr. Dawn's Shop Talk, and I would like to officially welcome you to another episode of the Monday Huddle. The Monday Huddle is actually a strategy I've used with my own staff for years because I truly believe if you change your attitude about Monday, you really could change your life. So join us here at Shop Talk each and every Monday and be part of our Monday revolution by starting to see Monday for what it truly can be, a fresh start and a new beginning. Now, remember, the Monday Huddle is just a small taste of what we can offer you because I only have time to cover 3 tips. That's because I want you to be able to join us on your lunch hour when you can. So as a result, if you want more in-depth coverage, remember every single one of the topics, including today's topic, can be a career coaching session or package or a life coaching session or even a presentation. Now, to check out everything that we offer, visit our website at drdawnshoptalk.com. That's where I can customize any of the topics for you. I also want to remind our audience that many career coaches might offer you a 15 or 20-minute free consultation. I think it's important to have at least 30 minutes with you to really figure out if our services would be a good fit. You don't have to pay for any of our packages to have that consultation. That's just an opportunity for you and I to talk and see if the Shop Talk services would be, in fact, a good fit for you. All right, you guys. Now, I also want to remind you of something very exciting. Don't forget that last week's topic was back to school anxiety in a COVID-19 world. Now, as you know, I think that's such an important topic, you guys, that I wanted to be sure to offer a free webinar. Many of you know I've been in education and training for over 30 years. And you guys, I cannot imagine a more stressful time to go back to school than this year. So as a result, I've done a lot of research on this subject. I've talked to a lot of colleagues, and I've got some really exciting tips to share with parents and grandparents, teachers and administrators on how to have a successful start to the school year so that our schools can remain open. And hopefully, as science and technology catch up, we can each and every day make sure our students are safe by adhering to those guidelines. So there's a lot of things we can do to make sure that happens. And we're very lucky in Arkansas that parents do have the opportunity to continue to have their children at home. So that 100% virtual option is available in a lot of school districts in our state and others, as well as the opportunity for a hybrid model where you would go to class on some days and stay home on others days. So again, those are all possibilities and things that I'm going to be excited to share with our audience. So be sure to go to the website, reserve your spot. Space is limited, and I hope to see you this Thursday for our first webinar. All right, you guys, it is time to get started with today's topic. I could not be more excited to share today's topic with you. I'm calling it Uncover Your Grit and Become Unstoppable. You guys, if you know anything about grit, you know that grit has been tied to success. It's a predictor of success. And it actually became a hot topic with Angela Duckworth's well-known TED Talk back in 2009. But the study of grit and resilience has been around since the time of Aristotle, and many other researchers have covered this topic as well. I actually became fascinated with grit and resilience back when I was finishing my psychology degree with Hendrix College. And there we researched a lot of case studies, and the subjects would have the same horrific backgrounds, and yet some could thrive in spite of it, and others would crumble. So the question became, why? Why could some handle those obstacles and others not? Well, that's where grit comes in. You guys, the definition of grit varies some, but in general, it refers to that courage, that tenacity to accomplish your goals no matter what. So as we take a look at the topic today, I'm going to be sharing just 3 of my tips with you of the ways to uncover that ability in yourself so that you can face life head on and become unstoppable. Now, another exciting announcement I have is that I am welcoming to the show today a very special guest host. When I thought about inviting a guest host to discuss this topic with me, my dear friend, Ashley Johnson Cross, was the first person I thought of. I've had the privilege of working with Ashley for many years professionally, and we became really good friends. So when I thought of someone I would want to talk about this topic with, Ashley definitely came to mind. She's a published author. She's the CEO of the big consortium. And she is someone who, if you know Ashley personally, she is a force to be reckoned with. So I know she and I are going to have a great time in today's show in talking about these tips and helping you develop that same ability that she has and we want our audience to have so that you too can face life's challenges and become unstoppable. So at this time, I want to officially welcome Ashley to her first episode of the Monday Huddle. Hi, Ashley. Happy Monday. Welcome.
I'm so happy to be with you, Dawn. This is so exciting. I just love all that you're doing to inspire not just women, but the entire Dr. Dawn Shop Talk audience. So I'm happy to be with you guys today.
We are so excited that you are joining us today, Ashley. And for our audience members who don't know about your business, tell us a little bit about that. And I'm going to actually put your website up there so people know where to find information about the great work that you're doing.
Well, listen, Ashley Johnson Cross, Don and I worked together for years, and I launched out about a year ago into the big consortium, and that is a business where we train business and industry on how to marry creativity with innovation. And I've seen such a huge rise with business and industry and training and the need for the spark. And I am the spark. I am a big ideas person, and I think it's important that business industry, as well as those who are on a personal journey, know that you need the spark. We're going to talk a little bit about that today in order for you really to be successful. So I do training, life coaching, you name it. I'm a motivational speaker, and I am a published author. So I'm glad to be with you guys today.
So excited to have you joining us on your first episode, hopefully not your last episode of the Monday Huddle. And Ashley, I am going to put some of your book titles up there. You guys, these are just some of the books that Ashley has written. Fear Has Left the Building, I think, is your newest release. Is that right?
It is.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And you can see these topics are really great that Ashley is covering in her books. I know she also offers some workbooks. I believe the Get Out of the Cage and Sing, that's actually a series that really gets in depth. And I love the title of this book too, Happy New You, Start Happy and Stay Happy, right? Because we start off really great and then something happens.
And something happens.
Life happens. Life happens.
Absolutely. Right? But if life happens, then you got to be able to learn how to start happy, but then you got to learn how to stay happy.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about the grit topic and becoming unstoppable. I love your points today. So I'm ready to hear from Dr. Dawn.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. As the caption's going to say here, oh, hello, Monday, right? We've got this. Let's do it. So you guys, we're going to start with the very first tip. Okay. Become courageous in the face of fear. Let me explain a little bit more about what I mean about that, you guys. All right. I'm going to start with this little fact. If you were to go to Amazon, I love everything Amazon.com, right? If you were to go right now and look up fear of change and facing fear, anything along those lines, you would actually end up with 28,000 results if you look at that alone. So guys, when we talk about facing fear and the fear of failure in particular, it's going to yield that many results. The reason, you guys, is we are not alone if doing something scary really seems to kind of cause us so much anxiety. And you guys, if you want to uncover your grit and become unstoppable, you need to do what successful people do. And let me tell you the difference. People with grit, right, that ability to get through obstacles no matter what, okay? Here's the secret to their success. They see fear and failure as life's greatest teachers. They're not afraid of failure. That's the difference, is that someone who's
Right.
very successful, and I'm going to share some examples with y'all in just a little bit, but somebody who's really successful, they see fear of failure as part of life's journey. They don't get intimidated by that. They learn the lesson and move on, right, Ashley? If people can do that and they see fear as just part of the journey and instead learn the lesson from fear, most successful people will tell you that they see it as the stepping stones to their future successes. What do you think about that first tip, Ashley?
Well, I mean, I would say definitely becoming courageous in the face of fear is so important. But I've written a book, Get Out the Cage and Sing, which tells people how to get out of fear. Because often,
Absolutely.
one of the keys to my success has been not just becoming courageous in the face of fear, but recognizing that there is a way out of fear. And you don't really hear people talk much about the fear of success. You often hear people highlight the fear of failure. Most of my coaching clients, they don't really have the fear of failure. That's just the beginning. But when you
Right.
actually get to going, it's the fear of success. What does it look like when I take these tips and they actually start working in my life? What happens then? What is the next? And I found that that one word, courage, is so very important. You got to know when to be the lion and you got to know when to be the lamb. You need both in order to really be able to show some grit and really to be unstoppable.
I agree. I really agree with your point. An excellent point about the fear of success, right? There
Yes,
is more written about the fear of failure. And then once people become successful, right, Ashley, you and I have seen that with our own clients,
we
they
have.
start sabotaging themselves. They're
Yes,
sabotaging themselves and they're like, why am I doing this? And so uncovering what is going on can really help someone get unstuck. And I love that
absolutely.
you've got, a book and a program specific to that because it is so, so important. Ashley, I want to share a couple of facts from very successful people that I think you're going to be surprised to hear. Some of this I bet you've heard. And the reason I'm going to bring this up now, you guys, this is actually going to be the topic of our next Monday huddle. I'm calling it Don't Listen to the Naysayers Out There, Successful People Who Made It Big Despite the Critics. That's kind of the subtitle. But
Mm,
let me share with you a couple of examples. Okay, Oprah Winfrey. Do you guys know that Oprah Winfrey was an evening news reporter and she was fired by her producer
right.
for being too emotional during her broadcast, and the producer actually told her that being that emotional was not a good fit for television. Oh my goodness, you guys, you know that
Yes,
her being emotional and having that emotional connection to her audience is one of the reasons that she became such a successful talk show
absolutely.
host. So again, another example of how that fear of failure, the fear of what people are going to say, that would have been something that could have hindered her, and we would never have experienced the wonderful gifts that Oprah Winfrey had to share. Okay, I've got two more examples. This is hysterical. Listen to this one, Ashley. I love this one. Elvis. After performing at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry, Elvis Presley was told by a concert hall manager that he was better off returning to Memphis and driving trucks because that's what he was doing
Wow.
before he attempted to sing. Can you imagine? Again, is that
Right,
crazy? So if you listen to the critics out there sometimes and don't face the fear of what your success could hold,
right.
right? You're never going to accomplish great things. Okay, one more, and that's all I'm going to share because I
This
want
is
to save
good.
a
This
lot
is
of
good.
these. I want to save a lot of these for the next episode. Okay, here's another one of my favorites, you guys. Marilyn Monroe. Listen to this. When she was first starting her career, modeling agencies told Marilyn Monroe that she should consider becoming a secretary.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that hysterical? I mean, you guys, seriously. So, again, there are times when you need to look at fear in the face and really think about what's going
right.
on. And as Ashley pointed out, you need to look at that fear of success as well, but really start uncovering your passion. Make sure your passion and purpose are aligned and really
Yeah,
kind of tap into that power that we all have so we can all become unstoppable. All
that's
right, you
good.
guys,
That's
I'm going
good.
to go ahead and move on to tip number 2. Okay, this one is another one that's one of my favorites. Okay, strive for achievement versus dependability. All right, let me explain that in more detail, you guys. You might be thinking I'm saying don't be dependable. That's not what I'm saying at all. People who strive for achievement, they're achievement oriented. They are dependable, but
Right.
people who are technically considered dependable, and that's sort of their mindset, there's a subtle difference between the two. And here's the difference. Somebody who's dependable does get the job done, but unlike their achievement-oriented sort of counterparts, the achievement-oriented person not only gets the job done, they have the ability to kind of take it to the next level. And unlike the dependable person tends to be a little bit more self-controlled. They don't think outside the box most
Right.
of the time. They tend to not push the boundaries. The achievement-oriented person is willing to be a creative problem solver. They are willing to take those risks. And as a result, you guys, when you compare the two, the achievement-oriented mindset achieves a greater level of success. So think about it this way, you guys. Think of it like this. Going for the goal is vastly different than just showing up for practice. Right,
Absolutely.
Ashley? What do you think about tip number
Absolutely.
2?
I agree. I would say this achievement to me is more about self. And you really
Yes.
hear nowadays a lot of people say to me, well, it's not about me. And then this is always my response. Well, when is it going to be about you? Because we have, as a society, trained people to make it about everyone else. And there's a guilt that comes with making it about you. Therefore, we train individuals, hey, let's be dependable. But dependable really is geared towards someone else. Achievement really is geared towards self. So I want to tell everybody that's watching today, it's okay for it to be about you. No, it doesn't mean that you're selfish. It doesn't mean that you don't care about others. But at some point in your career, you're going to have to be achievement focused, which means you're going to have to be, a dirty word, self-centered. It's going to have to be about what grit stands for me. So I wrote this down. I thought you would love this, Dawn. To me, grit stands for number one, goals. You can't say you have grit if you have no goals. And so for everyone that says, I've got passion, my number one question is, okay, well, what are your goals? Number two, grit stands for the R, rambunctious. And you would say, well, that doesn't go with grit, right? Right. But to me, really a part of grit is being a little bit disorderly within order. You've got to be willing to challenge some of the status quo. Most of the people that really broke out in success are the people that were orderly with disorder. So rambunctious, you've got to be that. Number three, you've got to have instinct. We're talking about achievement here. The I in grit to me stands for instinct. There's just some times where it's just that feeling. It's the grit in you that says, I got to go for it. I don't know how to explain it. I got to jump. I got to go for the gold. This is not practice time. I've practiced enough. It's time for me to go for it. And then finally, the T is really, I say too, trust and timing. Most people, Dawn, who you and I, and we've seen this with those that we coach, they trust other people, but they don't trust themselves. And in order for you to really be gritty, you've got to have a level of trust in yourself to say, hey, not only can I do this, but I deserve this. So I would say achievement absolutely is what we need to be focused on.
I love that. And Ashley knows I am all about an acronym. I love that she made grit an acronym. I love that. You know that. So yes, you guys, to Ashley's point, each and every one of those qualities is what we want you to be able to kind of develop within yourself and uncover. And back to her first point, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. And right, Ashley, I'm sure you've seen that with your clients as well, that there's almost this guilt. And I believe that there are some gender differences. The research supports this, where I think we could learn a lesson from the gentlemen out there. Absolutely. I think they tend to be a little bit better about understanding that taking care of themselves is really taking care of others. Absolutely. It's kind of like, Ashley, what they say on an airplane, right? Where when that oxygen mask comes down, and hopefully that never comes down on one of my flights, because my family and friends know I have a little bit of a fear of flying. So I never want that to come down, but they say if it does, you have to put that oxygen mask on yourself first before even your children, right?
That's so good.
So counterintuitive, because we just don't think of that.
No,
but it is, you guys, so important. That's another reason I'm excited that Ashley is with us today. She is someone who is just as passionate as I am about leadership, and particularly female leadership,
Yes.
and being that role model for women who are having a difficult time possibly in uncovering this. Now, I'm not disrespecting our male audience
No,
members
not at
out
all.
there. We love you because let me tell you, the ladies, I think we would agree if we have strong men in our lives that are supporting us and recognizing the importance of uncovering this trait for their daughters and their wives and their
Absolutely.
mothers. That support, we're all in this together. And if you can tap into that achievement, and yes, back to
Yes.
Ashley's point, be dependable, but understand you got to be gritty. And that
Right.
means you've got to be strong enough to sometimes make those uncomfortable decisions and
Right.
really take care of yourself. So
Absolutely.
excellent points, Ashley. Excited about that acronym. Girl, I want you to send me that acronym.
You know I
I love
will.
it. I want to use that myself. Okay, you
You know
guys,
I will.
before we move on to tip number 3, usually at this time during our show, I like to remind the audience, let us know, you guys, that you are watching. Give
Yes.
us a thumbs up. If you think someone could benefit from today's topic that Ashley and I are covering, please send that to them. Go ahead and share the video, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
So taking a look at our comments, we're getting some thumbs ups and some hearts. Oh, and here's a great comment. I'm going to go ahead and share this one from my girl, Tammy. She loves watching our show, is a big fan, love that. She says she loves tip number 2 and how both Dr. Dawn and Ashley have given examples to explain the difference between achievement and dependability.
Yes.
Thank you, Tammy. Tammy always
Thank you,
has some
Tammy.
great feedback to share. So thank you
Wonderful.
guys so much. So yes, continue to let us know you're watching, you guys. And then whenever we can, we try to squeeze that in during the episode and share your comments. So that's a great one, Tammy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, I'm going to move on to tip number 3. Unleash your excellence and put a stop to
Oh my
perfectionism.
gosh.
Okay. This one, Ashley, I know you're going to agree with me here. You guys, let me explain more about this. This is huge. Okay. Yes, there are times where you need to give your best effort, right? You need to
Absolutely.
strive for doing the best job possible. But let me explain the difference between pursuing excellence and what perfectionism
Yes.
really is. The definition of perfectionism does vary some, but in general, it's referring to somebody else's point of view of what perfect is. So
That's
what
good.
happens is you end up chasing, in my opinion, kind of a mirage, a hallucination. You're
Yes.
never going to get there. Now, are there times when you have to be as close to perfect as possible? Well, sure. If you've got a huge project going on, a big presentation, or let's say, I think a better example, if you're competing in the Olympics, right, Ashley, you
Right.
have to get as close to a perfect score as possible because that gold medal is going to go to that person whose score is practically
Right.
perfect. But putting the Olympics aside, you guys, most things deserve your best effort and as close to excellent as you can. But you guys, there are some tasks where just getting the job done is fine. It's almost
Absolutely.
like that saying, and Ashley, I'm sure you've heard of this saying, I'm just paraphrasing here, where they talk about paralysis by analysis,
Yes.
right? You can overthink something over and over again. And what ends up happening is you actually stand in your own way of
Absolutely.
success. So, you guys, I want you to stop pursuing perfectionism. Instead, pursue excellence. And by doing that, you'll understand it's okay if you make a couple of mistakes and you stumble along the way. Learn the lesson from the
Yes.
nation's and world's most successful people, again, about failure. They see it as part of life's journey. So don't go after that allure of perfectionism, you guys. It's a hallucination, it's a mirage. You instead just strive for
That's so
excellence,
good.
both professionally and personally. Right, Ashley? What did you think
That,
about that?
I mean, I thought that was so powerful, Dawn. So many revelations in that. I would say, and part of that is in my book. One of my favorite chapters in my book, Get Out the Cage and Sing, is chapter 4, which is the couch of the crowd. And I found that so many people, because of the desire for perfectionism, it can do two things. It can propel you or it can paralyze you.
Right.
And I find so many of my clients, they look at the scene and they say, well, it's so many female entrepreneurs, it's so many motivational speakers, it's so many life coaches right now, so many people with t-shirt business and food trucks. Why should I get out? Well, they're not you.
Right.
You have your own. It's like the Olympics. You have your own race to run. One of my favorite pictures from the Olympics is one of the famous swimmers, Michael. One of his competition was looking at him while he was looking forward at the goal. And the individual lost because he took the focus off of his lane and was looking at someone else. And that's
Mhm.
what perfectionism is. Perfectionism is looking at someone else's lane instead of running your own race. It's very important. When I run my own race, the root word of excellence is to excel. So it's my job to make sure that I am excelling in my own lane. That means I take the pressure of perfectionism off, I get off of the couch, and I get into the crowd. And that is so important with grit, everyone, especially for the entrepreneur. The person that says, hey, what if somebody else is doing what I'm doing? Who cares? No one is your competition. Get up,
Right.
get out, get goal oriented, get rambunctious, get that instinct, and get your trust out and get gritty because you can do it. You can do it.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. Ashley,
indeed.
you make an excellent point. It's so true. People do want to compare. I mean, I think this show and our partnership today is just a great example of that. Ashley and I have worked together, like I said at the
Yes,
beginning of the show, for a number of years. We are in similar businesses,
that's
but
right.
we respect and understand that we each have different backgrounds that we bring to the
Right.
table, different talents, different styles, but so much in common with regards to our passion in helping people be their best, right?
Yes,
And so that's part of it is entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs, realizing that we all bring special talents to the
that's
table
right.
and are a great fit. It would be like Starbucks thinking that they should never have gone into business because there were a lot of coffee companies out there. Who cares?
Exactly.
I mean, everybody brings something special. So that I think is
Absolutely.
an excellent point, Ashley, about not looking into someone else's
Yeah,
lane, running your best race.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Love, love, love that. All
Yes.
right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and remind our audience of a couple things, and then I'm going to take a look at some more of those comments in just a minute. Remember, you guys, that we are broadcasting today live on Facebook, so you can find this episode and all of our episodes actually on the Dr. Dawn Shop Talk Facebook page. I know Ashley is going to share that to her Facebook
I
page as
am.
well. We also will be posting that later on Instagram. And then usually within a couple of hours, we are broadcasting actually to our Dr. Dawn Shop Talk YouTube channel as well. So it takes just a little bit for that to show up there, but lots of places to find this episode and all of our episodes. Also want to remind our audience that we air our show each and every Monday to help you get your week started off on the right foot. We do air it live at 12 noon, so you can join us on your lunch hour. However, you can watch the replay, you guys, anytime. And remember to share that content with anyone you think that could benefit from that. Now, I did want to make an announcement. I am going to be actually on a short break next week. So you guys, as a result, the next episode of the Monday Huddle will actually air on August 31st. And you guys, this is one of my favorite topics. I was reading part of this to you today. The
Yes,
next episode is going to be called Don't Listen to the Naysayers Out There. And then the subtitle is Successful People Who Make It Big Despite the Critics. So that's going to be a very exciting episode. Again, guys, that will be on August 31st. Now, before we start to close, let me also remind our audience, I talked about this at the beginning of the episode. Don't forget the free webinar that I'm offering starts this Thursday. This is the webinar entitled Back to School Anxiety in a
yes,
COVID-19 World. As I mentioned, and Ashley knows this, I've been in education and training for a little over 30 years now. And I cannot imagine a scarier time to have to try to prepare
that's right.
to go back to school. But you guys remember, unlike March, when this came out of nowhere and the world could never have seen this coming, your school districts have now had months to prepare, making sure they're adhering to health guidelines. And Arkansas, like many other states, are offering a variety of options for parents. In my experience, parents have never had so many choices when it
Yeah,
comes to how their children's education will be delivered. So many states are doing what Arkansas is doing and offering different options, whether it's a hybrid model where you go to
Right.
class some and you stay at home some, or the option to have 100% of your learning done virtually. And Ashley, if you didn't know, Arkansas actually has additional funds that has been set aside in the millions to help rural school districts increase their bandwidth so that the virtual option is going to be more available, right? Because we want everybody to stay
That's
healthy and
right.
stay safe. So you guys, as a result, I did a lot of research on this topic. I've talked to a lot of my colleagues in education. So I am really excited to share this webinar with you. Now, space is limited because you don't want just a huge group when you do a webinar. So be sure to go to drdonshoptalk.com, sign up there and register, and hopefully I will see you either on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wanted to offer a lot of different dates and times, right, Ashley, to accommodate, people's
Yes.
schedules.
I think this is
Yes.
such a great webinar. I want to encourage everyone, my followers, my listeners as well. I know several that will be homeschooling for the first time, and then some that will be doing the hybrid model. I just think it's important to listen and hear a viewpoint of an actual educator, somebody that's been in the field, that is credentialed, and that also is a parent. Even though Savannah's doing fantastic, she's doing amazing. But
Thank you.
I think it's important to not just hear from somebody that's in an office that doesn't have kids, that really doesn't know what it's like. And Dawn is credentialed enough where she's going to give you the viewpoint of an educator, but also of a mom. So I want to invite everyone, sign up for this webinar before all the spots get filled.
Absolutely, absolutely. And and that's something I'm also very passionate about, Ashley, is as a career coach, one of my specialties is career coaching for teachers. Think
Yes.
about that, Ashley. We have, we do career coaching a lot of time for corporate clients, and there's
Right.
definitely a need for that. But how often have you heard of a teacher or administrator hiring their own career coach? And you guys,
Yes.
I'm telling you, I bet parents appreciate teachers more now than ever before because of COVID, right? And if you guys, right? So if you are a teacher who either has a lot of experience and just kind of wants maybe a different perspective, or if you're a brand new teacher or a brand new administrator, you guys, I was an administrator to an amazing faculty for 12 years, and I know what it's like to be a first-time supervisor of
Right.
teachers. So I wanted to remind our audience that if you're thinking about career coaching, you don't have to be a corporate client. You can be an educator. And I can't think of a profession that needs it more, right, Ashley? Especially now.
I agree. I totally agree. So get registered. Don't miss this opportunity. I think it's fantastic.
Yes. All right. Okay, you guys, I am going to share a couple more comments that are coming in. Thank you guys so much for letting us know that you're watching. Here's Larry Johnson. Grit. Yes, Larry,
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
Very excited. Here's Pat, True Grit. Well, yes,
True grit.
absolutely. We need that. And then one of my dear friends, Amelia, great advice. Oh, thank
Yes.
you, Amelia, for watching. And again, guys, feel free to share this content with anybody else who wants to uncover their grit and become unstoppable.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys, we are just so excited that you joined us today. Again, you can always catch the replay if you couldn't join us live. Ashley, did you have anything else that you wanted to add either about the webinar or about grit?
I would definitely end with just reminding everyone about grit, goals, being rambunctious, instinct, trust and timing is so important. But I want to really end with this. People who really exercise grit, Dawn, know the value of a mistake. And a mistake, if you break that down, is just a mistake. And so those of us who are really gritty and becoming unstoppable, you value the mistakes because you know it's just an opportunity to take the door again and to be successful. So for those who are saying, hey, I was gritty and it didn't work out for me, here's the great news. A mistake is just another opportunity for you to take an opportunity again. So I am so grateful, Dawn. Thank you so much for having me today. Hopefully you'll have me again. And thank you to all of our viewers today. This has been fantastic.
Absolutely. Ashley, you have an open invitation, girlfriend. Love partnering with you. Love seeing you. Absolutely. You guys, on behalf of Ashley and I'd like to just wish you a wonderful rest of your Monday. We hope you have a terrific week. And don't forget to join us same time, same place for your next episode of the Monday Huddle, which this time will be airing on August 31st. So you guys, thank you again so much. Have a great day.
Have a great
Take
week,
care.
everyone.
Absolutely. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.